crypto landscape is shifting, and institutions, they're no longer just interested in Bitcoin and Ethereum. With the SEC's approval of spot ETFs for these two giants, the door is now open, wide open for other altcoins to enter the institutional arena. This isn't just speculation, it's a strategic move by asset managers to diversify portfolios and capitalize on emerging opportunities in the crypto market. Welcome to JRNY TV, where we break down the latest trends in crypto and digital finance. Today, we are diving deep into the altcoins that are catching the attention of institutional investors around the world. From XRP to Solana, these assets, they are being strongly considered for ETF approvals, and the implications, they could be significant for the broader market. In the following sections, we will be sure to explore which altcoins are now under review for ETF approval, the likelihood of their approval by the end of the year, and why these developments could in fact lead to substantial market movements. We're also going to discuss why some underperforming altcoins may see the most significant gains upon approval. The Next ETF Wave. These altcoins are up for approval. So Ethereum and Bitcoin finally got their ETFs. That is huge. That's amazing. But now comes the fun part. What's next? Well, the SEC isn't just stopping here, and neither are the institutions. Right now, there is a short list of altcoins actively being reviewed for spot ETFs. And if these approvals go through, the price action could get ridiculous fast. According to Polymarket odds and a bunch of analyst predictions, XRP, Solana, Cardano, Litecoin, and even Dogecoin are all on the table. And here's where it gets crazy. Some of these have over 80% odds of approval by the end of 2025. We're not that far away. XRP is currently sitting at the top of that pile with an 83% shot. Solana is right behind it at 82%. Cardano and Litecoin both hovering in the low 70s. That number has been ticking upward ever since the Ethereum ETF went live. What's fueling this? Two things. One, institutions want more exposure right now. Ethereum and Bitcoin are just the gateway. Two regulators now have a working framework. They've already opened the door, and now they're just deciding which altcoins get to walk through it next. Grayscale's already filed the Cardano Trust ETF. XRP has its own filings pending. Solana's application is also in motion. This is not hopium. This is paperwork and public comment periods. If these ETFs do get the nod, and we're talking about a potential decision window in late Q3 or Q4, then we're going to see entirely new classes of buyers all flood in at the same time. And you don't want to be at that door trying to get in when everyone's there. Financial advisors, retirement accounts, and even pension funds. That kind of capital doesn't just buy the pump, they create it. Altcoin ETFs, the next big catalyst for crypto markets. Historically, the approval of ETFs has led to increased institutional investment and heightened retail interest. For instance, the approval of Bitcoin ETFs, it resulted in significant inflows, with BlackRock's iShares Bitcoin Trust becoming one of the most successful ETF launches in history. Ethereum ETFs have also attracted considerable attention, signaling a growing appetite for regulated crypto investment vehicles. The potential approval of altcoin ETFs, it could trigger a very similar wave of investment. If we look at history, ETF approvals, they have led to significant price movements in cryptocurrencies, driven by increased demand and market psychology. Remember those two things? This effect could be amplified if ETF approvals coincide with a surge in retail interest, creating a feedback loop that propels prices much higher. Moreover, the approval of altcoin ETFs, it would provide regulatory clarity and legitimacy to these assets, making them much more attractive to institutional investors around the world. This could lead to increased liquidity and reduced volatility, further enhancing its overall appeal. XRP, ADA, Litecoin, and Sol. Which altcoins are set to explode? Let's start with XRP. Institutions already love this one, despite the chaos with the SEC in years past. Now that the dust has mostly settled and Ripple keeps locking in new global payment deals, the infrastructure is already there. It's fast, it's cheap, and battle tested. Add an ETF into that mix, and it gives funds an easy way to buy into a real-world utility token without touching exchanges. If XRP gets approved, it's not just going to pump, it's going to melt faces. Next up, we've got the one and only ADA, or Cardano. This one is slept on hard. Even with solid fundamentals, strong leadership under Charles Hoskinson, and a very passionate community, ADA has been lagging in price. And that's exactly why the upside is so juicy. If the ETF green light drops while ADA is still at these levels, it'll act like rocket fuel. And remember, ADA has historically made big moves during bull runs. It just likes to show up late and loud. Now entering the arena, Litecoin, the underdog with legacy status. It's one of the oldest coins in the game and still one of the fastest and cheapest for payments. With a super low market cap compared to the rest of the list, any kind of institutional wave into Litecoin could cause a serious supply squeeze. It doesn't take much to move Litecoin. That's exactly what makes it dangerous in the best way. And of course, we cannot forget the one and only Solana. This one's already had a huge run up thanks to its blazing speed, dirt cheap fees, and a meme coin market that refuses to chill. Solana is the most active chain in 2025 by far. are. But even with its recent price action, an ETF approval would bring a new level of legitimacy to Solana like we have never seen. Think less degen chain and much more institutional grade infrastructure. Sol might be the underdog here, but that doesn't mean it's done running. Underdogs poised for the breakout. While major players like Ethereum and Bitcoin have already seen substantial gains, the real opportunity might lie with altcoins that have been lagging behind. These underperforming assets could experience explosive growth if ETF approvals come through, especially as retail interest surges. Cardano, for instance, has been trading sideways, currently hovering around 74 cents. Despite its robust technology and strong community support, ADA has underperformed compared to its peers. However, with ETF approval odds reaching 71%, a very positive decision could in fact act as a catalyst, propelling ADA to new all-time highs. Analysts suggest that such an approval could push ADA's price beyond 84 cents, potentially igniting a rally towards $1. Litecoin is another asset that has remained relatively quiet, trading around $129. Litecoin has seen a 5% dip recently. However, with ETF approval odds as high as 90%, Litecoin could be on the verge of a significant breakout. Analysts everywhere predict that ETF approval for Litecoin could attract substantial institutional inflows, potentially boosting Litecoin's market cap by over $400 million. These underperforming altcoins, they present a unique opportunity for investors to get in before the potential surge. As ETF approvals loom and retail interest continues to grow, assets like ADA and Litecoin could offer substantial returns for those who are willing to take the risk. The institutional altcoin era is just the beginning. So here we are on the brink of a new era in crypto investing. Institutions are no longer just flirting with Bitcoin or Ethereum. They're actually gearing up to embrace a broader spectrum of altcoins. With ETF approvals for assets like XRP, Cardano, Litecoin, and Solana on the horizon, landscape is set to change drastically. These aren't just speculative plays anymore. They're in fact becoming legitimate investment vehicles backed by regulatory frameworks and institutional interest. The potential for growth is immense, especially for underperforming assets that have yet to experience significant price surges. So what's your next move? Are you positioning yourself ahead of the institutional wave, or are you going to ride that wave until it's already turned? Remember, in the world of crypto, timing is everything. Stay informed, stay strategic, stay intentional, and as always, keep it locked here on JRNY TV for the latest insights.